All right, I guess we're live. So we're just recording this beforehand, and then we're gonna post it to YouTube afterwards. But I wanted to do it in this way instead of trying to record it and edit a video. Just make it a little bit more.
Does that mean you're not technically live?
Well, yeah, I guess we're not technically live, but I'm not going to download this video and edit it out. So, but yeah. So if this is the first video you've ever watched, my name is Miranda,
and I'm Ryan,
and we are That Flipping Family. You might hear dogs barking. You might have my children come in and interrupt us. You might have my annoying brother come in and interrupt us. But we're gonna go over some things. We've done so. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about our numbers so far. We're about 70 days in now. I have been planning to do this video for about over 10 days now, but we've sold on eBay just over $24,000 gross, and then on Facebook Marketplace, I've sold probably close to $2,000 or $3,000, which is nice because there's no fees. But yeah, so you want to tell them a little bit how this started?
So to the best of my knowledge, this got started because I wanted to take a financial well-being class at our church. Essentially, we needed help making a budget, and I thought that taking this class at church would give us that. And Ryan didn't really want to go. And then at some point during it, bug bit his butt, and he was like, gung-ho, let's do this. We're going to get out of debt. So not only was we not make a budget, he wants like get out of debt, live debt-free, just like hardcore. And I just wanted a budget. So he started watching a lot of Dave Ramsey videos, and Dave Ramsey talks about until you get yourself out of debt, all these things that you need to do or to try. And getting a second job was one of his suggestions. And so he really wanted to start this as a way to get us out of debt. And kind of the way that it started was he saw someone else doing it in a YouTube video and came to me and was like, hey, I think I might start selling things on eBay in order to help us get out of debt. And like, that was the conversation. He didn't say what he was going to sell or how he was going to do it or what his business plan was. And I just assumed, because he didn't say anything else, he was still doing research and was going to like come back to me later and give me that information. But instead, I woke up the next morning and he was like, hey, so I started an eBay business. Just like that. That was it. Pretty much.
So, the YouTuber I found, so go back just a little bit. I really love Pokemon cards, or just opening card packs in general. And I wanted to start a YouTube channel based on that. And but it's very expensive. So I was just trying to figure out a way to make more money. This was also before I got into Dave Ramsey and getting out of debt, to make more money to be able to afford that. And I just happened to come across Harry Tornado's YouTube video about selling on eBay or going to a garage sale or something. And I watched it. I don't even know why. I just had nothing better to do. And I was watching it, and I said to myself, wow, why don't I do that? And so now, here we are. I have like 75 puzzles behind me.
So now he does do that.
Yeah. So, I think that.
Did you match me on purpose?
Yeah, totally.
Did you really?
Yep.
Like actually?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And my name is Ryan, by the way.
It's not.
But yeah, so I do want to just give, if anybody that is new to reselling is watching this, I just want to give a few tips, and I've learned some lessons the hard way while doing this. So a few of them would be definitely go ahead, if you decide you want to do this, go ahead and set up a USPS account, because you're going to need that to be able to schedule your porch pickups or your pickups or whatever. And then you can also get the free priority mail boxes through that. So whenever I first started, I was sending a lot of the stuff with my own boxes, and I bought them kind of in bulk for starting out. I mean, they sent me like 25, but it was still like 60 cents or more per box. And when you're sending out, like I think tomorrow I have 37 things going out. So if I'm paying 60 cents on all of that, it adds up quickly. Especially right now, I'm sending a lot of priority mail. Yeah, so definitely go ahead and set that up. It's free to do. It's free to order. You don't have to pay anything to order the supplies. You can only use these boxes for things that are over £1, or if you're just paying for priority mail. So yeah, definitely will not be shipping things that are not, or that are priority mail, not in priority boxes. Even if I don't know, I guess I need to look into the rules a little bit more, but even if I have to like Frankenbox 2 boxes together, I still am doing that rather than using my own box. Yeah, I see a lot of people doing that. So I guess anyways, another thing, get a scale. So I have a food scale. So another fun fact, I'll just throw this in there. I actually started on YouTube a lot, like 4 or 5 years ago, 2000.
No, 15.
Jesus, I don't even. Okay, June 1st, 2013 is when I started. So I started a YouTube channel for my weight loss.
Is that right? You started before he was born?
No, 2014.
Yeah.
2014. Yeah. Anyways, so I started a weight loss channel, and then I changed it into Total Transformation just to talk all about how I've basically changed my whole life with the weight loss journey. And it's actually how I met Miranda. Fun fact. We met on Instagram. She slid right into my DMs.
Oh my gosh, you always say this and it's not true.
Well, she liked too many of my pictures, so I went creeping, and then now we're married with a daughter. Anyways, getting off track here. What was I talking about? Let me unlock my phone.
You were talking about how you started YouTube with a weight loss channel. And then you
okay. So I have a food scale because of that. Gosh.
Oh, anyways.
So I have a food scale because of the weight loss channel, or weighing my food, because I had to track all my food. And anyways, so up to 11 pounds, I can weigh things on this. And then for anything over 11 pounds right now, I'm just using my scale that I stand on to see my weight. And it works good enough for now. Eventually, I will get a better scale, but this is definitely, I don't want to invest in that yet. I've invested in a thermal printer. So if you're really going to get in serious, invest in a thermal printer. It doesn't have to be the Dymo 4XL or something like that, but I personally have the Zebra 450. I think that's all it's called, but it's like $120 on eBay, and it comes with 1,000 labels. And then I just bought, I think, 2,000 labels for $27. So if you're any sort of computer inclined, you can get it set up really easily, and you'll be good to go. It doesn't have to be the expensive printers that a lot of the YouTubers suggest buying. Nothing wrong with that, but you just don't have to. So, why I was talking about the scale. So weigh your items. We're great at
We'll
this.
bring you full circle eventually.
Weigh your items. So I all of a sudden started getting a few like extra shipping charges, and every now and then I miss one, but it's not nearly as much as it used to be. So, and you can't lie about it. So, like, it would be like 1 pound, 1 ounce, and I tried it to be like 4 or 15 ounces, and they caught me. It's all right though. Yeah.
And they'll charge you, so you might as well just do it right the first time.
Yeah, and then if you do it right, if it's that close and you do it right, then you can use their shipping supplies, and then kind of balance. Not quite balances out, but balances out a little bit more, because then I use my own shipping supplies and they charge me. I'm double missing out. Anyways, So yeah, so weigh your items. Bigger items, definitely suggest doing calculated shipping. I personally have not done a ton of calculated shipping, even with selling a bunch of weights, but that's something that I wish I could talk myself into. And with bigger things, so I have like these big Star Wars things. So I just started doing it recently, where I had Miranda listed it for me yesterday, actually, and we measured it out and weighed it and just did and added like 3 ounces or 4 ounces, and then put it as calculated shipping. I know some resellers actually will pre-box it, yeah, and that is definitely a good idea if you have the room. But I am in my dining room that I turned into my eBay room / office, and then I have a portion of my garage set up, or I have a lot of the garage set up also, and then we just got a storage unit because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and my brother moved in with us to help us with the children.
So that was going to be my one piece of advice, is if you're thinking about selling this, make sure you have dedicated room for it, because we didn't. And what started as like he was just taking up part of the office with it quickly turned into he took over the whole dining room, and that's what the dining room is now. So before, we didn't use the dining room as a dining room. We were using it as an office because we both needed to have office space at home to do our jobs. But very quickly, I was booted out of the dining room and put into the living room. And obviously, we don't have a very large house. So now my office is in the living room, and he's taken over the entire dining room. And then it began to spill out into the kitchen, at which point we're like, okay, you are going to need some dedicated space in the garage. Now he's taken over half the garage. And like he said, he's also got a storage unit. And he likes to blame the storage unit on the fact that his brother moved in. But in reality, we needed the storage unit anyways, because he had bought 14 bags.
It was I think it was 19 total.
19 bags of stuff from someone. And we just don't have the space to store. We sorted it all, but we don't have space to store that anywhere. And he's already taking up half the garage and all of this room. So we actually had to get the storage unit regardless of his brother moving in. So make sure you have dedicated space, because what starts as a small hobby, if you're not going to be particular and only list one kind of thing, you're going to need space for it. Because like I said, it's the dining room, half the garage, and now a storage unit. So
that's actually carries us well into the next tip, is really something that I need to account for now, is sourcing things that I enjoy rather than what everybody on YouTube does. So for me, I enjoy like a lot of hard goods, and not definitely. I'm not saying I will never get into shoes or clothing, but I just dread taking pictures of clothing, dread taking pictures of shoes, dread listing them, dread the returns because it didn't fit right, dread I have no idea what this dress is called. There's
can't look up any of the names.
Yes, I personally, right now it's tough because we're in the middle of the pandemic, and all the Goodwills are closed and everything's closed, and it's a lot of retail arbitrage whenever we do get the chance to go out. But yeah, so, and we were lucky to get this hoarders deal. That's what I've been calling it.
Yeah.
It was 19 bags. Literally, there was trash mixed in with good toys, basically.
Yeah,
so
it was bad.
It gave us a ton of stuff to be able to list. And yeah, so, and I enjoy toys much more than I enjoy clothes. So I have tons in my death pile, there's tons of shoes and there's tons of clothing. And it's just like stuff I picked up because it looked cool. But then the more I learn about it, it's like, oh, well, this is only worth like $4 more than I bought it for. And after fees, I might make 12 cents or something. I don't know. So yeah, just definitely source and start with things that you enjoy. And if it grows into branching out, then let it branch out. But on the same token, I say don't limit yourself to just one particular thing, because if you're only into clothing, then in something like this, I've seen a lot of people complain, like whether it's on the Facebook groups I'm in or on Instagram, complaining that nothing's selling or they sold one item this week. And
so actually, I'm going to pause right there. A really good example of this is before we started. Here it is.
Sorry, it's raining.
Oh,
It's
come
about
on.
to rain.
So come on, get in.
Coming.
Go.
We're sorry, it's just raining.
Okay, just go.
It's about this storm.
Okay.
Come on, PJ.
all right,
Mason, go. Come on, Peach.
PJ.
Just
I'll get her.
Could we put in my room?
go.
That's cute.
And this is why
And
we're
there's the
that flipping
circus.
family.
But before we started this eBay business, I had an eBay account already, mostly just for buying things. I don't think I'd really ever sold anything until I did something for my boss. I worked for a company that flipped houses, and he found some cap guns, and so I listed those. But I had an Alice in Wonderland Hot Topic jacket that I really loved, but I'd never worn it. I'm a really huge Alice in Wonderland fan. It looked like a what are those school jackets called? It almost looks like a Letterman jacket, kind of. But I'd never worn it, and I knew I wasn't gonna wear it, and I thought maybe somebody would pay for it, and so I listed it, and I just kept it listed. I just never took it down, and it took over 6 months for this thing to sell. And that was like a really specific, like somebody was gonna have to be into Alice in Wonderland, and somebody was gonna need a thick jacket, and someone was gonna have to be able to wear a small. But it did. It took over 6 months, and after we'd started the eBay business. So when we were getting good reviews and we were getting more views and we were getting looks from people, and we'd already sold a lot of stuff from the eBay store being open, then that's when it sold. And so it does take a really long time to get some of that stuff moving. And honestly, if we hadn't started an eBay account or an eBay store, I don't know that it would have ever sold. It would have just sat there until forever. I don't know.
Yeah. So while doing what you enjoy, if you're going to pay for a store, I definitely suggest trying your best to keep up with the market and keep up with the trends, because just for an example, with everything that's going on, people are stuck in their house, puzzles, hair clippers, stuff like that is just flying off the shelves right now. But I see people saying that they sold one item because clothing is just not moving. And I don't know if that's true or not. I've only sold, I'd say in the last month, I've sold probably 5 to 10 clothing / hat items. So
Mostly just hats though, right?
yeah, I sold those camo pants a couple
Oh, yeah.
times,
And that's another thing too. We
I don't know
find
what else.
that things that I have had that are like smalls, like I've got some dresses in my closet that have the tags on them that I never wore, and so we tried to sell them. But selling small clothing is a lot harder than selling larger clothing. So like I ran across some extra large and 2XL satin gym short type things and stuff like that that's bigger sells better for some reason. And so like even though I had these really nice brand new dresses that were smalls, we still have them.
Yeah. So, and then I guess my next tip was actually going to be willing to adapt somewhat. So especially with what happened now, all the yard sales are not going on, the Goodwill's closed, very limited amount of times that we're able to go out when we have a very small house, so we run out of food and we have to go pick up dinner. And if I'm the one that goes, then I have my whole trip planned out. I'm like, I'm gonna go buy the clippers, I'm gonna go to the puzzles, I'm gonna go to the weights, I'm gonna go get my food, or I'm gonna go buy the Nintendo Switches, and then I'm gonna go get my food. And you never know. Sometimes you might walk in there and you'll find 2 Nintendo Switches, like, oh geez, up there. And I have a bunch of weights that I picked up and I've been selling, and puzzles like there. And just having stuff to be able to keep listing rather than, I don't know, waiting for this to end, because we don't know when it's going to end.
Yeah, we hadn't done a whole lot of retail arbitrage before this started. We'd done some, but it was just kind of like if stuff was on clearance at Walmart, like the little bags like this, where like if they were on clearance at Walmart and they'd sold a few times, we'd buy some. But really, we were not doing a whole lot of retail arbitrage, and we were definitely not doing like retail arbitrage. Like we weren't paying full price for things and then reselling them for more. And we were really getting 90% of our stuff, probably, at least 90% from Goodwill, and then some from yard sales as they would happen on Saturdays. But when this started, that's when we were like, wow, okay, we had just kind of begun to get into retail arbitrage, and it was like as we would see things posted places where people were like, oh, hey, this is, this much at this store and it's selling for this much, then we would go. But we really wouldn't step out on a limb and try it ourselves if someone else didn't already know that it was working. And then we kind of had to get out of our comfort zone and really try that now that we're in the situation that we're in with this pandemic. And that's really where our money is coming from, is these retail arbitrage things that we're having to pay retail value for and then resell, which may not be things that people are wanting to buy once this is done and they can go out again themselves. But if we weren't willing to adapt to that, we wouldn't be selling anything right now.
Yeah, it would definitely be a lot less. I'd say I'm still selling a few things that are not like the newer retail arbitrage things, but it's definitely a good portion of it is coming from just adapting to the times. And at the same token, you have to be willing to stop at the right time and keep whatever you have. I think that's where I'm at now, is I'm kind of I don't know when the next time I'm going to go out is even, but if we do go out and it's not a Disney puzzle, I'm not going to pick it up personally. Or if it's not something I know is going to really be a big flip, then I'm not going to waste my time with it, especially since I have so much and I don't want to get stuck with it. Mm-hmm. So, so just be willing to adapt, whether it's to retail arbitrage now or back to yard sales. I cannot wait to go back to yard sales. I think we did it like 2 or 3 weekends before all this happens, and we started 2 months ago or about 70 days ago now.
Yeah, and we've been in quarantine for just over, so probably only 2 or 3 times before.
Yeah, because I remember like right before they really shut everything down, it was like I went by myself to the yard sales, and people were just starting to social distance and be worried, and I'm like, wow, this is weird. Everybody's like standing apart from each other, and
that's why I didn't go, because we had Ryland, and it was like people were just starting to get scared. I was like, I don't think we should go.
Yeah, so the very last time I actually went by myself and did find some stuff. So I'm definitely happy I went, but just be ready to go once this clears up. If
you say that,
I don't know when it will clear up though, so whatever.
I feel like I'm gonna let other people try it first, and then if it really goes away.
But so the last thing, so Pirate Ship is a very useful resource. I've only used it a handful of times. Right now, with the weights I have, I'm just sending them flat rate, so I don't need Pirate Ship. But I have used Pirate Ship. So what it does is it's really good for really heavy but smaller items. And you just go make a Pirate Ship account. It's free. And you can literally import your stuff from eBay into it. And it will also export the tracking information back into eBay for you. And if something is very heavy and like eBay saying it'll cost you $80 to ship it, check Pirate Ship, because it might save you $50. You never know. In the same token, if it's not going to be small, I found this out. I had to actually cancel my first order because it would have cost me $90 to ship something. I was like, I paid $40 for this. I'm not literally losing money on this. And the guy, he was fine with it, but so it was probably like this long, and I thought it would ship just fine in Pirate Ship, but it didn't.
What was it?
It was a weight set. It was like like an 8-pound, a 5-pound, and a 3-pound weight
Mhm.
rack thing. But yeah. Anyway, so that would be a perfect example of time to use calculated shipping. So yeah, I think I had one question. Let me check.
I had one question.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Was it from me?
It was from you. It took me a minute because I was like, who sent this to me? And I like rolled my eyes and I realized it was you. And I was like, of course it was.
So Tony Handsome did say you're killing it. I don't know. Hopefully that's a real person and not a bot, but
hey, bot, thanks.
yeah. Somebody said, do I need any support with my small business?
What?
No, I don't.
What does that mean?
Um,
No, do you need support? I thought they meant like
I do need like emotional support.
Do they need their own?
Or if so, you can add time to the day because I wake up at about 4 to 4:30, and I go to bed at like midnight.
He doesn't go to bed at midnight.
When do I go to bed?
You're up later than midnight.
Sometimes, not all the time. Recently, I've been going to bed probably like 10 or 11. But yeah, I guess that one person, it's Lit Bros, did say, what do you do if a listing doesn't get any views? So for me, you
make your family go bid on it. No, I'm just joking. Don't follow that advice.
So I do notice sometimes that my listings are not getting views, and if that is happening, then what I do is I'll ask Miranda to take better pictures, or I try to add better keywords, or I'll promote the listing. I used to promote everything, and then I realized that, especially now with a lot of the stuff I'm selling, I don't need to promote it because so many people are looking for it. So if it's something like, I don't even know what a good example is, Thor Ragnarok dog tag, and there's 100 of them listed, I might promote it because I'm already not really going to be making any money on this, and it probably costs 12 cents to promote it.
Mm-hmm.
And if mine gets sold, then I'm making something rather than sitting on this for a year. Hopefully that makes sense. But again, I started 70 days ago, so what do I know?
And when we sell things that we know that they're already selling, like we know that other people are buying them, we will copy other people's postings that have sold so that we have the right keywords and so that we have the right information, because it's really tedious to go through there and pick out, the UPC and the item color and the item number and the condition, et cetera, et cetera. And so if it's something that's brand new and someone else already has a listing and it's sold within the past few days and it's sold for around what we're looking for, we'll use that listing so that we have the keywords already and the information filled out. So that really helps to make sure that all that information is filled out.
That's a good point. Is whenever I'm sourcing, if I search for an item or I scan the UPC, what I do first is I see how many are listed, and then I go to sold. I see how many have sold. So around, like, if there's 5 listed and 5 sold, there's a good chance you might sell one. And then what I do next is I go back to what's listed and I look at the lowest price. And if there's tons of people undercutting each other, now I'm just leaving it. I'm not gonna sit on something for months on end. And it's definitely hard if I see somebody pick something up for $10 and they're selling it for $80, but then there's 10 people listing it for $30. It's hard to not daydream about that $80 sale,
Mm-hmm.
but at this point, with the limited space I have, I'm skipping out on it, and I'm trying to get high moving items rather than a lot of slow moving stuff. But yeah, I think the sweet spot for me right now is going to be 300 listings. Even with that, I'm struggling to keep it at 300, and I'm still selling between 10 to 30 items a day. So yeah. And just the last thing I want to say is, really, this has been completely life-changing for us, in my opinion, at least. I've never in my life just been like, hey, I want to switch us from Samsung phones to iPhones, and we just straight up buy the iPhones instead of making payments on them anymore. Even though yeah. Anyways, it's just given us an opportunity to have extra money and pay off our debt, and this has been a lot of fun. I enjoy shopping whenever it's something like this. I don't enjoy going shopping, but I enjoy shopping if I'm making money while shopping. Does that work?
I will say too, though, but you need to keep in mind also the amount of time that this takes.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it's like having another job. It really is. So if it's not something that you want to or are able to spend the time in, then don't get exasperated when you're not getting the results that you're looking for. Because I mean, this really is like having a 30-hour-a-week job or more. I mean, he was saying he gets up at 4 a.m. But yeah, if he's in his room, don't go talk to him. So it takes a lot of time.
Yep. So yeah, so I mean, basically, it from what I found is reselling is what you make it. I really, and yeah, the money's there if you want to put in the time and the effort for it. The money is there, and you can make as much and as little money as you want. But even like, never mind, I'm not going to get into it. But I was going to say fuck Gabe.
Oh God.
But
who?
yeah. Yeah, so if you managed to watch it this far, thank you so much for watching. And
I want to end it like that Jeremy Tar video where he's like, I hope this has been informative and I thank you for viewing.
Yeah.
There you go. That's it. Be done now.